This is the Roulette Master, and I hope you're ready for low roller day on the channel. It's going to be awesome, and one of my subscribers, Jeremy, just sent in what he calls the best low roller system, and today we're going to put this incredible new system in a head-to-head matchup with a system I think is the best for low rollers, and we're going to start with that first, and this should be awesome. If you want to play for more, all you have to do is just increase the size of the bet and by the same proportion as the bankroll, and you can use it with any amount. So we're going to get started. We'll play opposite color for $1 here, and what we're going to do is count our losses. So let's see what we get here, and that is a 23 red. And if you win, you can see we're up $1 now, or 1 unit. We're going to bet on black for $1 now, and let's go ahead and spin. So we're playing opposite color, and the progression is really the key here. And when you lose, all you do is count the number of losses that you've had, and we're just going to stay on black. And here we go. And this is a $100 bankroll system with dollar units. And here we go. That's a 29 black. And we got the win. So all you do when you get the win is, and we're going to switch to red now, is the number of losses will be the number of units for your next bet. So let's go ahead and just switch to red for $1 because we only had one loss, so it stays at $1. And there's another win. We're up $2 now, or 2 units. We'll switch to black for $1. Or 1 unit, and here we go. That's a 9 red, and I think you could play this all day long without losing at these small amounts. So let's go ahead now, and we're not going to increase the bet yet. We're just going to count our losses. We have 1 loss. So here we go. That's an 11 black, so that means our next bet will be 1 unit because we had 1 loss. And we'll switch to red for $1. Let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's a 10 black, and we lost, so we'll just rebet and spin. We have 1 loss currently. Let's see if we get 2 right here. That's a 24 black. That's 2 losses. Okay, so we just continue to bet $1 on red, and we count our losses. We have 2 currently. Let's see if we get 3. We did get 3, so that's 3 losses. So we just rebet at $1 and spin again. And that's all you have to do is count your losses, and that's a 13 black, and that's 4 losses. Okay, so we'll rebet that, and let's see if we get 5 losses. And the nice thing about this is we're not getting down much because we're only betting 1 unit or $1 per spin. Okay, that's 6 losses, so let's go ahead now. This is the Roulette Master, and I hope you're ready for low roller day on the channel. It's going to be awesome, and one of my subscribers, Jeremy, just sent in what he calls the best low roller system, and today we're going to put this incredible new system in a head-to-head matchup with a system I think is the best for low rollers, and we're going to start with that first, and this should be awesome. If you want to play for more, all you have to do is just increase the size of the bet and by the same proportion as the bankroll, and you can use it with any amount. So we're going to get started. We'll play opposite color for $1 here, and what we're going to do is count our losses. So let's see what we get here, and that is a 23 red. And if you win, you can see we're up $1 now, or 1 unit. We're going to bet on black for $1 now, and let's go ahead and spin. So we're playing opposite color, and the progression is really the key here. And when you lose, all you do is count the number of losses that you've had, and we're just going to stay on black. And here we go. And this is a $100 bankroll system with dollar units. And here we go. That's a 29 black. And we got the win. So all you do when you get the win is, and we're going to switch to red now, is the number of losses will be the number of units for your next bet. So let's go ahead and just switch to red for $1 because we only had 1 loss, so it stays at $1. And there's another win. We're up $2 now, or 2 units. We'll switch to black for $1. Or 1 unit, and here we go. That's a 9 red, and I think you could play this all day long without losing at these small amounts. So let's go ahead now, and we're not going to increase the bet yet. We're just going to count our losses. We have 1 loss. So here we go. That's an 11 black, so that means our next bet will be 1 unit because we had 1 loss. And we'll switch to red for $1. Let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's a 10 black, and we lost, so we'll just rebet and spin. We have 1 loss currently. Let's see if we get 2 right here. That's a 24 black. That's 2 losses. Okay, so we just continue to bet $1 on red, and we count our losses. We have 2 currently. Let's see if we get 3. We did get 3, so that's 3 losses. So we just rebet at $1 and spin again. And that's all you have to do is count your losses, and that's a 13 black, and that's 4 losses. Okay, so we'll rebet that, and let's see if we get 5 losses. And the nice thing about this is we're not getting down much because we're only betting 1 unit or $1 per spin. Okay, that's 6 losses. So let's go ahead now and keep track of those 6 losses and rebet at just $1. And then once we get a win, the number of losses will be our next unit size, and that's a 16 red. Okay, we lost 6 times, so that means our next bet will be $6, but now on black. So let's go ahead and do that and spin, and this should help us recover. And let's see what we get here. And that's a 20 black, and that recovered. Okay, so now we're back up 4 units or $4, and we'll be on red for $1. And if we lose that bet, I'll be sharing with you coming up what happens if you lose that bet. And that's a 9 red. So make sure you stick around for that. That's really important. We're up $5 right now. And let's go ahead and spend $5 or 5 units. And again, this is a $100 bankroll for dollar units. And so if you use $10 units, you can have a $1,000 bankroll with this if you want to play for more. And we're just going to count our losses now. We've had 1 loss. So here we go. So if we were using $10 units, we'd be up $50. But basically 5 units. And we lost once. So that means our next bet will be $1. And you can see how safe this is. It's an extremely safe way to play, and a fantastic low roller system. That's a win there. And we're going to switch back to black for $1. We're up 6 units, and here we go. Okay, that's a 30 red. Okay, we're just going to keep track of our losses. We've had 1 loss, and just continue to rebet at 1 unit. And here we go. That's a 2 black, and we only had 1 loss, so that means our next bet is 1 unit. Okay, we're up 6 units right now, and let's spin on red for $1. Here we go. That's a 00. That's just a normal loss, though. We'll just count that as 1 loss, and we'll rebet and spin. And we'll see how many losses we have, and that'll be our next unit size. That's a 17 black. That's 2 losses. Okay, so let's go ahead and rebet that and spin, see if we get a 3rd loss here. And here we go. That's a 27 red. We had 2 losses, so that means our next bet will be $2. And we'll have a $2 bet on black. And let's spin. Okay, we lost that one. So if you lose, what you do is we had 2 losses previously plus 2. We add those together, which is 4. So what we do now is we go back to $1, and once we win, we add our losses to 4 because we had 2 and then we lost 2. So if we lose this one, it'll be 5. Okay, so that's 5. And then we just rebet on black for $1 and spin. And here we go. So we had 2 plus 1 is 5. Now it's at 6. So we just bet $1 on black again. And now we've had 6 losses. And here we go. That's a 20 black. So all we have to do now is we had 6 losses. So we put a $6 bet on red. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. And we got it. So we recovered. Okay, so now we're up 8 units, and we'll be on black for 1. And here we go again. That's a 26 black. Nice win there. We're up 9 units now. And let's spin. Really, really safe way to play. This would be one I would recommend for low roller strategies. And there's 1 loss. We're just going to start counting our losses again. And let's see how many we would get here. Okay, that's a 14 red. Okay, so we'll go to black for $1. We're up 9 units. We're on opposite color, and then we don't increase the bet unless we get a win after losses. And that's a 27 red. So we've had one loss. We'll just rebet that at $1 or 1 unit and spin. And here we go. That's a 00. That's 2 losses. Okay, so we'll just rebet and spin. And here we go. Okay, we had 2 losses, so that means our next bet will be 2 units on red. Okay, and that'll get us to 10 units of profit if we get the win here. And we did, and that'd be $100 if we were using $10 units with a $1,000 bankroll. But with dollar units, we're up $10, and we'll be on black for $1. Here we go. So you can use this, any system you can transform into a higher or lower bet just by making sure you divide the starting bet and the bankroll by the same number. Let's start counting our losses here. We've had 1 loss, and here we go. That's a 28 black. Since we only had 1 loss, the bet stays at 1. And we're still up 10 units. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 0. So we lost that one. So we'll just repeat the bet and count our losses. We'll see if we get a second loss here. And we did. So that's 2 losses. Okay, so let's go ahead and go 1 unit again here and see if we get a third loss. And we did. That's a 29 black. So we've had 3 losses. So we'll see if we get 4 here. And all you have to do is count these, and that's the unit size of your next bet. If you lose on the recovery, you just add, there's 3 losses. Let's see if we get 4. You just add the amount that you lost, and that adds into your recovery. We'll do that again, though. Okay, we had 4 losses, so our next bet will be 4 units on black, and that'll get us to 11 units of profit. And here we go. And we lost. So when we lose, again, that was a $4 loss there, and we already were at -4, so that's 8. So now we add the one we just lost to that. That's 9, and we go back to $1. And then once we win, we'll add our count to whatever we're at 9 right now. If we lose this one, well, we won it. If we had lost that, we would have went to 10. But since we won, we go to 9, and that's our next bet on red. And here we go. So we're down 9. We're betting 9. So if we were to lose this one, the next bet would be 18. But we got the win. So we recovered. Now we're up 13 units. So let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 36 red. And again, this is just a $100 bankroll with dollar units. And we're going to rebet that and count our losses. We've had 1 loss currently. And here we go. That's a 35 black. So we only had 1 loss, so we just keep the bet at 1. We're still up 13 units. That'd be $130 if we were doing $10 units with a $1,000 bankroll. But with this $100 bankroll and dollar units, it's $13. And we only had 1 loss, so we'll stay at 1 on black. And we're up 14 units. Okay, here we go. That's a 2 black. That's another win. Okay, now we're up 15 units. And we'll go back to red. And when it gets choppy like this, it really adds on the profit. And that's a 34 red. Okay, we're up 16. And for those of you that like Follow the Winner, you can also do this with Follow the Winner. Betting on what hit last, that would work with this as well. And that's a 24 black. And now we're up 17 units. So with this system, you're going to make a lot more when it gets choppy. And if you did that, you would make a lot more if you had color streaks. That's a 12 red. Another win. Now we're up 18 units, which would be $180 if we did $10 units with a $1,000 bankroll. But again, this is dollar units with a $100 bankroll. And that's another win. And now it's getting real choppy and it's paying off. We're up 19 units. And here we go. All right, that's a 5 red. Okay, now we're on black for $1. We're up 20 units. So again, that'd be 200 bucks if we were doing $10 units. And here we go. That's an 18 red. Okay, now we'll start counting our losses again. We've had one loss currently. And let's spin. Okay, that's an 8 black. And since we only had one loss, the bet stays at 1. We're still up 20 units. And let's spin. All right, here we go. That's a 14 red. Another win. Now we're up 21 units. And I hope this is one that you're going to try, but we'll see how this does coming down the stretch. But I think it's a fantastic way to play low roller roulette. And even if you're not playing a low roller, it's a good way to play. Let's go ahead and spin again. So you could play this with a $10 starting bet and a $1,000 bankroll and do really well also. In fact, there's a second loss. We'll rebet and spin. And yeah, we'd be up 200 bucks. Or right now we're at we'd be at 190, but we'll get this back. That's a 15 black. Okay, we had 2 losses, so we'll go to red for 2 and spin. Again, if you lose this, you just add 2 plus 2 is 4, plus any additional losses. We lost that, so now our count's at 5 because we lost again. So we go back to $1, and now our loss count is at 5. We added 2 plus 2, and then we lost one more, which is 5. 2 plus 2 plus 1. And now it's at 6. So we just keep betting $1 on red and spin. And now our loss count's at 6. Now it's at 7. Okay. But no big deal. We're only losing $1 per spin. So that's the beauty of this. And here we go. We're at -7 right now. And now we're at -8. Okay. And these long streaks like this system is fantastic for. So we've had 8 losses, and here we go. And now we're at 9. And again, if we were doubling or tripling our bet, we would be toast right now. But we've had 9 losses, and we only lost $9. That's the cool thing. And we finally got the win. Okay, so then our next bet's going to be $10 on black. And then let's recover. Here we go. But we lost, so we were -10, then we lost 10. Now our count's at -20. So we go back to black for $1, and our count's at -21 now, actually, because we lost that one, and that's a 13 black. Okay, so we'll bet $21 now on red, and spin, and here we go. Let's recover right here, and we did, and that's the 15 minutes. We just rolled up on 15 minutes. We made 27 units of profit. That's $270 if we bet $10 units with a $1,000 bankroll, but $27 with a $100 bankroll. So I hope you enjoyed that. And now it is time for the new roulette system of the day. I can't wait to share this with you. And let's just jump right in and get started. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the best low roller system by Jeremy. Let's go ahead and place the bets. And we're going to play these 2 dozens independently. So let's go ahead and spin, and I'll share with you how this works. A lot of systems that look like this work together with the dozens out of all the 4. But the way that his system works here, and we won both of them there, so we're just going to rebet and spin, and we're currently up 2 units, is we're going to play these each set of 2 dozens independently. And that's a 24 black. Okay, so since we're playing them independently, this one here won, so we don't do anything to it. But these ones go to 3 because the 24 was in the 3rd column. And let's go ahead and spin. So now we have $1 on 2nd and 3rd 12, and then $3 on 1st and 2nd column. That's an 8 black. And that is a win on the columns, but a loss on the dozens. So we're going to take these ones back to 1. In the columns because they won, and then these ones are going to go from 1 to 3 on 2nd and 3rd 12. So let's go ahead and spin, and then we'll check our balance. Here we go. That's a 17 black, and we won both of them. So now we're up 6 units already, and we go back to dollars on all of them. If you win both of them, you reset them all to $1. But they are working independently. and that's a 28 black. Okay, that's a $2 win there. That means we won both of them, so we're up 8 units. And we'll just rebet and spin, and here we go. All right, let's see what we get here. That's a 36 red, and we definitely lost the columns, but we won the dozens. So the columns go up to 3, and let's go ahead and spin. The dozens stay at 1 because they won, and that's a 32 red. Okay, that's a $4 win there, and we won both of them. So now we're currently up 11 units, and let's go ahead and go back to 1 each on all of them, and here we go. Okay, that's a 7 red. Okay, and we hit the columns, but we lost the dozens, so the dozens go to 3, and the columns stay at 1. You can see temporarily that dropped us back to 10 unit profit, but we'll get it right back. And that's a 24 black. Okay, that is, let's see what happened there. That we lost on the columns, but we won on the dozens. So the dozens go back to 1, and the columns go from 1 to 3. Okay, let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 4 black. That's a win on the columns and a loss on the dozens, so the dozens go to 3. Okay, and let's make sure we take the columns back to 1 now because they won. And we're up 12 units. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 27 red. And let's see what happened there. We won on the dozens and we lost on the columns. So we're going to go from 1 to 3 on the columns, and we're going to go back to 1 on the dozens. Okay, because we won that one, and we're up 13 units. And you don't see your true real profit until you hit them both at the same time, and that shows you where you're actually at with your profit. And that is a $5 loss. I think we lost both of them there. So, oh, I'm sorry. No, we won the dozen on that one. So, so the dozens stay at 1, and then this goes from 3 to 9 on the columns. And let's spin. This is a $20 total bet now, and here we go. That's a 21 red. Okay, we lost on the columns again, so now they're going to go to $27. And I bet we get a win on the columns this time. Let's see if we can do it. That's a 10 black. And we did. That's a $25 win. And we lost on the dozens, so they go to 3. And then these columns, they go back to, we'll just put it back out there again. These go to 3, and these columns go back to 1 because we won. We're up 16 units. And here we go, $8 total bet. And so when one wins, it goes back to 1 unit. If it loses, it triples the bet, which if with high bet amounts would not be good, but with low roller strategy, it works fantastic. So that's a loss there on the column, so they go to 3. And the dozens won, so they'll go back to 1. Okay, and we're up 17 units. Let's go ahead and spin. And again, once we hit them both at the same time, again, it'll give us our true profit. And that's a 5. And we won the columns and lost the dozens. So the dozens will go from 1 to 3. And then the columns will go back to 1. Okay, we're up 18 units. Let's go ahead and spin. So you'll notice the next time we hit both of them, our profit will be higher. And that's a 13 black. And we hit both of them there. So we're up 22 units. See how that jumps up there? And let's go ahead and spin. They're all back to 1 now. And here we go. This also will help you get to the minimum on automated tables. If the minimum's $3, even though you're betting $1 on each. And let's see here. So we lost the columns. So we'll go 1 to 3. And we won the dozens. So that's an $8 total bet. And here we go. That's a 29 black. Okay, that's a $4 win. We won both. We're up 25 units. And again, that's when you see your real profit, is when you hit them both at the same time and they all reset back to $1. Okay, that's a 7 red. Okay, and that is a loss. So we lost the dozens, so they go 1 to 3. And the columns, well, the columns won again, so they stay at 1. So this is an $8 total bet, and this is working fantastic. I really like this strategy as well, and that's a 25 red. It's another double win, and we're up $28. But again, we're playing these 2 sets of 2 dozens independently. We're not working together on this. It's basically each set of 2 dozens is its own bet. And let's see, we lost the second and third 12. Those go from 1 to 3. And then and then the other ones are at 1. So on the columns, because we won. And here we go. Okay, that's a 24 black. Okay, and I think we won on the dozens. So they go back to 1. And then the columns lost. So they go 1 to 3. And let's spin. Then we'll check our balance after this spin here. Okay, that's an 8 black. And we lost the dozens, but we won the columns. So the columns will go back to 1. And the dozens lost, so they'll go from 1 to 3. Okay, we're up 29 units right now, and let's spin. That's a 20 black. And we hit them both. So now we're up 33 units. And you can see how you can see your true actual profit once you hit them both at the same time. Because the rest of the time they're working, they're both trying to recover. So we're up 33 units now. That's fantastic. And let's spin. And here we go. This is a great way to play low roller roulette. And because the bets start so small, it gives you plenty of room to increase the bets if you need to. We lost the dozens, so we'll increase those. And let's see, the columns 1, so we'll leave those at 1 or 1 unit. And here we go. That's a 26 black. That's a nice win. We won both. We're up 36 units. So they all go back to $1. And let's go ahead and do that. All right, now we're back to $4 total bet where we started. And here we go. That's a 29 black. All right, we won both of them. We're up 38 units. And that's pretty awesome with a $100 bankroll to be up $38. And here we go. That's a 19 red. That's another $2 win. We're up 40 units. And let's spin. And here we go. That's a 17 black. And he said this is a $100 bankroll. We're up 42 units, or $42 with a $100 bankroll. And I think $100 would do the trick. But if you want to be extra careful, just use a $200 bankroll just in case. And but it's a great low roller strategy. We'll go from 1 to 3 on the columns and spin. The dozens 1, so we'll leave those at 1. Okay, that's a 26 black. And we hit them both. How about that? So we're at 45 units now. And let's just put the bets back out. They all reset. And let's spin. All right, here we go. So I think both these systems today would be fantastic choices for playing low roller. And we're at 47 units now. And with the $4 bet, that'll usually meet the $3 obligation on the minimum for automated roulette machines. And obviously you can play this way online as well. Okay, the dozens won. So we lost on the columns. So they'll go from 1 to 3, and the dozens will stay at 1 unit. And here we go. That's a 24 black. Okay, that is a loss. And however, we won on the dozens. We'll just go up from 3 to 9 on the columns. Okay, that's a $20 total bet. 18 of it's on the columns, 2 of it is on the dozens, and that's a 9 red. And we lost again. So we lost both of them. So we go from 1 to 3 on the dozens, and then from 9 to 27 on the columns. So let's do that and spin. Let's get a column hit here and recover. The nice thing is they're usually not both in trouble at the same time, and that's a 28 black. And we hit both of them. That was a $30 win. Now we're at 51 units. So back to dollars on each, and let's spin. And yeah, this is a fantastic way to play. Again, just to be safe, you might want to have $200, but $100 is what he put on this one. We're at 53 units. And again, the cool thing is that both the sets of dozens are usually not going to be in trouble at the same time. That's what keeps the bankroll down. And let's go ahead and increase the columns from 1 to 3 and spin. And here we go. All right, that is a 10 black. Okay, and we lost the dozens, so they go from 1 to 3, and the columns 1. So let's go ahead and take those back to 1. Okay, we're currently at 53 units, and here we go. That's a 24 black, and we lost. So the columns go to 1 to 3, and we won on the dozens. So let's take those back to 1 and spend. $8 total bet, and here we go. That's a 13 black. Fantastic. That's a good win. We're at $58. And let's just clear those out since we won both. And that's when you see your true income is when you win both. We're at 58. The rest of the time, one of them is always trying to recover. So you don't see your true income potential yet until you hit both. And that's a loss on dozens and a win on columns. So the dozens go from 1 to 3. And then the columns stay at 1 because it won. And here we go. Let's see how this does down the stretch here. I think you're going to really like both these systems today. And we hit both again. We're up 61 units. So let's go back to where we started. And again, that would be, if you did $10 units, you need a higher bankroll, but that would be $610 in profit. And that's a loss on the columns, a win on the dozens. So the columns will go 1 to 3 and spin. And here we go. That's a 7 red. Okay, we lost on the dozens, so they go 1 to 3. And then we won on the columns. So those go back to 1. And see how you almost would never have 2 in trouble at the same time, the way this is set up. That's a 30 red. Okay, that's a $1 win there, but we won on the dozens, but not on the columns. We'll go 1 to 3, and then those dozens reset back to 1. And spin. Let's see if we can get a win here. We're right at the 15-minute mark. That's a 7 red. Okay, and the 15 minutes is up. So we made 63 units of profit with this one. And thank you, Jeremy, for sending this in. Thank you, everyone that's been sending the fantastic systems in lately. That's what the channel is all about, is searching for the best roulette system each and every day. If you're enjoying that search with me, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep growing this community of people that love roulette like I do. And that would be fantastic. Let me know down in the comments which one you like better today. They both did really well. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.